I would be in meetings and looking for the nearest exit at all times, making sure it's by the bathroom if I needed to be. The fear of having a miscarriage. I felt definitely exposed and vulnerable to be talking about such a personal part of my life at work. I personally used to be so scared about pregnancy, becoming a mom. Get ready with me and let's talk about all the things pregnancy surprised me with that I wish I knew earlier going into this. Pregnancy is definitely a lot harder than I expected it to be. Don't get me wrong, I knew it would be hard, but I really didn't think it would be that difficult until you got closer to the end of 9 months when you're about to give birth. It was hard probably, I would say, from the very beginning. So let me tell you the things I wish I knew earlier. The first thing in your first trimester is that it's a myth that morning sickness only happens in the morning. I think that was the biggest one for me. It can strike at any time of the day. It would wake me up sometimes at 4 a.m. in the middle of the night to be sick on a work day, and sometimes it just never goes away. Sometimes it carries with you throughout your day and you just kind of have to roll with it. I think the biggest thing I learned about morning sickness is the importance of keeping snacks on hand. If you feel any wave of nausea come over you, that you have a bag of Cheerios to go to or a ginger candy or a ginger ale to help out. That really helped me a lot. My friend also told me later on that sour foods really help. So sour apples really helped me in the morning, and taking B6, vitamins, and Unisom was really helpful, which is like a motion sickness over-the-counter medicine. But I think everyone is different, so definitely talk to your doctor and see what they recommend, but be ready for it. Morning sickness is no joke. Another thing that really stressed me out, especially in my first trimester, was the fear of having a miscarriage. You hear about so many women struggling with this, but it becomes so real to you in your first trimester so quickly, especially when you get your first ultrasound at 8 weeks and you know the baby is there. The risk is so high for just anything to go wrong and miscarriage to occur. A lot of the times I feel like we don't know why they happen, but they just do. So that's kind of like an unknown, uncontrollable fear that you carry with you throughout your pregnancy. And there's all these myths like being more sick is better than being less sick. So you're like, oh, I'm thankful I'm super sick. Maybe it's a good sign, maybe it's not, I don't know. But I kind of really lost my mind over that fear because it's easy to feel so out of control and helpless when it comes to miscarriage rates. And I think a big thing too is deciding who you want to tell early on in your pregnancy so that you have that support system and that group of people that you can go to if things go wrong, and being aware of if you tell your work or if you tell your parents that you're pregnant early on and something does happen, you have to be comfortable with sharing the bad news with those people as well. So that was really hard for me, especially as someone who shares a lot of their life on social media, that I really wanted to tell you guys what I was going through or share about my work struggles and hiding this along the way in real time, but I wasn't really prepared to process grief in front of a lot of people. Another struggle with pregnancy is just that there's so much information out there and that literally everyone is different, and it feels like so many things could be a symptom of pregnancy and be normal, but you also have to watch out for those things that are abnormal for you with your doctor. So I was having a lot of dizziness and it just really freaks you out. You're like, is this normal? Is this not normal? I really don't know. The mental experience of having so many unknowns in your life and going through such a big change in private is really, really tough, especially if you were balancing a full-time job and a full-time career. Like I would be in meetings and looking for the nearest exit at all times, making sure it's by the bathroom if I needed to be, because it is hard to be professional when you feel so nauseous and be keeping the secret and having it on your mind constantly. Something that shocked me in my first trimester was how quickly my clothes did not fit at all. I'm someone who wears pretty fitted, tailored clothes, so that could be one thing. If you wear more baggy clothes, you'll be better off. It was not only that they didn't fit, but if anything touched my stomach, if it was brushing it, I would feel like so sore and immense pain. So I had to change my wardrobe pretty quickly, and that's a lot when you're looking at clothes for lounging or you're looking for clothes for the office. It's a big investment. So a lot of the times I ended up wearing my husband's clothes for those first few months. Pregnancy brain is definitely a real thing. There were so many times where I would just lose my phone for hours, or sometimes I lost my wallet for days because I just could not remember things. And that was so weird to me as someone who's so organized. Like, I take notes, I try and set reminders for myself all the time, was that I was really helpless when it came to pregnancy brain. No one tells you how little you go to the doctor in the beginning, which is crazy to me. I thought in the beginning I would be going to the doctor the most, but it seems like the frequency of my appointments will really increase towards the end. So it's just a lot of time in between your 8 weeks and your 12 weeks. And when you found out, I found out at 5 weeks. So it's a lot of waiting and just being like, is everything okay in there? I don't know, but it's a lot of waiting. And again, a lot of anxiety in that first trimester of pregnancy that I didn't expect. I didn't expect this weird dynamic of career and pregnancy, because it's up to you when you want to tell your manager and your employer when you're pregnant. And I feel like it relieved such a big burden on me when I told my manager I was pregnant, because I was like, I need to work from home and I don't have to lie so much. But it also changes the dynamic. It's just kind of awkward. I felt definitely exposed and vulnerable to be talking about such a personal part of my life at work. But maybe that's just me as an introvert, I don't know. I'm a pretty anxious person, so how I say things is really important to me. I guess that comes into being an introvert too. I like to be really thoughtful about everything. So it was a big stress point of revealing my pregnancy at work for me. I definitely also didn't expect how tired you feel. Like, I would go to bed at 6 p.m. and wake up at 9 a.m. sometimes and still feel tired. So if you're feeling really exhausted and like you're not doing your workout routine, you're not eating healthy, I literally lived off French fries and lemonade for 2 weeks. That was a rough time for me. It's completely fine. It's completely normal. And I think that it's really hard, especially as overachievers, to give ourselves grace and just be like, this is an unprecedented time in my life where I'm pregnant. I have to just kind of like give in to whatever my body needs and listen to it to be the best that I can be going forward. Sometimes it feels like nothing about pregnancy is normal anymore. I definitely don't eat foods I used to eat, and I used to love certain things that I cannot stand the smell of right now. It is so weird to me how completely changed I feel. But I also will tell you something I didn't anticipate is the amount of peace that I feel. I used to get anxious about so many little things. Like, am I doing enough? How's this project going? Does this person like me? How are things going? Like, I would be such an overthinker. But now that I'm pregnant, I would say one big positive thing is that I'm like, if I can keep my lunch down, I'm doing great. Like, I'm so proud of myself right now. And I just like feel so peaceful having this person along with me for the ride sometimes. It's kind of weird and difficult to explain, but it just like really helps you get your priorities in line, especially if you are trying to take on too much a lot of the time. It really gives you perspective on like how much time you have and how it's so limited, and how you have to really prioritize your life and get more organized so that you can do what's best for you and your health and manage your life in the best way possible. I personally used to be so scared about pregnancy, becoming a mom, the whole journey that I'm currently on. And I will tell you that once you get in it, I feel like you just kind of have instincts and you know what to do. So I think a big thing that I was afraid of was not being prepared or not being the right time. And I will tell you that you know what to do. You'll learn as you go. People have been doing this for years. Moms are amazing. They're superheroes. Don't get me wrong. I cannot believe how women do this time and time again and balance their lives, their careers, having multiple kids and managing a family. I think it's amazing, but you can definitely do it too. So don't feel like you have to prepare or you have to be in a certain way or a certain life. Definitely go into it prepared and make sure it's something you're ready for. I definitely planned my healthcare, my finances, my life situation. I think that is something really important to do to make sure you're going into pregnancy in a space where you feel calm, but also don't overstress it. You've got this. One thing I also forgot and that I did not expect is how much water I have to drink and how much I have to go to the bathroom. Those things might be related, but also maybe not. I don't know. A big thing for me coming up is my 20-week appointment, which is on Friday. I'm officially 20 weeks on Thursday, but my appointment's on Friday, and that is like a big anatomy scan for the baby, ultrasound, big check where we make sure everything is developing the right way before they grow bigger and bigger and we get closer to giving birth. So I am looking forward to that, but I'm also pretty nervous, and I can't wait to share it with you. I love sharing this new chapter of my life with you, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing. I can't wait to share all the things that I wish I knew and was able to see when I was thinking about becoming a working mom.